There is a curse in South Korea, and it all started back in 2014. I remember this like it was yesterday. No, I don't. I'm very young, okay? But at the announcement of Olympian gold medalist figure skater South Korean Kim Yeon-na's retirement announcement after the 2014 Sochi Olympics, that's where the curse began. This obsession with figure skating by the country of South Korea develops after Kim Yeon-na, and now suddenly every single mom that we knew was looking for their kid. They were like, you should have been in figure skating since you were 5 years old. You could have made something out of yourself. Instead, you post these cringy ass YouTube videos. Look at yourself. Immediately afterwards, thousands of little girls are enrolled into figure skating classes. There weren't even enough rinks. Some rinks were turning people down. Like, ma'am, no, we cannot just take it. This is an infant. They don't even know how to walk right now. What do you mean? What do you want us to do? Just like throw them down onto the ice? Kim Yeon-na single-handedly made figure skating so much more popular in South Korea, because before her, the government didn't even care for national figure skaters. They didn't even invest money into it. It wasn't even until she won the Junior Grand Prix final, and it was taking Kim Yeon-na $2,200 a month to skate. Her training facilities, her costumes, renting ice rinks, choreographers. Her parents were paying $2,200 a month on top of all their other expenses. It wasn't until the Junior Grand Prix final that South Korea was like, fine, you might be onto something. You might win an Olympic gold medal. So we will cover some of your costs. So we'll give you $800. That's insane. Okay, what the hell is she gonna do with that? Now, after Kim Yeon-na wins the gold for 2010 Olympics, South Korea was like, maybe this beautiful, elegant ice queen was onto something.
2010 was her first goal?
First gold.
That's when everything blew up.
Cultural reset. Something in every South Korean's brain chemistry, not even in the country of South Korea, all around the world. It's like we and we all just joined this new cult of the Ice Queen. It was programmed into our brain chemistry. When she won that gold medal, everyone, my mom, everyone at your Korean church, they went ding.
That's so interesting because I don't think I knew the significance of what she did to Korea. South Korea as a country, because we have these moments in China too, like when certain sport they win gold and then everything changes,
and then suddenly they're building facilities. The government is pouring money and funding into that sport, and you're like, since when the fuck did we care about the horses that dance up and down? Have you seen that part of the Olympics where the horses just dance? There was a whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe this elegant ice queen is onto something. Suddenly, ice rinks start popping up everywhere. Suddenly, everyone said, wait a fucking minute. Winter sports deserve some love. Yuna competed in the 2014 Olympics in Sochi. She won silver. Many figure skaters, not me, I'm a commoner, I don't know anything. Many professional figure skaters believe that she was robbed of her gold medal. But regardless, she retired after that. Not because she won silver, for other reasons. And then crickets. South Korea has been so pumped for figure skating since 2010, and nothing, just nothing. We haven't won shit. We have not had a figure skater win an Olympic gold medal for South Korea, the Republic of Korea, ROK, since the ice queen Kim Yeon-na. Technically, the last gold in figure skating was in 2010, Kim Yeon-na's first. 10 years, South Korea has had the figure skating curse. Not a single gold except in the 2024 Winter Olympics. South Korea placed gold in the figure skating team event for the Youth Olympics. So they're like, if we're placing gold in the Youth Olympics, it's only a matter of time till these youths fucking grow up and they win the gold for the Senior Olympics.
Wait, there was a Youth Olympic happen this year?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh, that's crazy.
Yeah, there was a Youth Olympics.
Wow.
So they're like, it's going to be in 2026 then, because the regular Adult Olympics is in 2026 in Milan.
Really?
So they're like, we're going to win a fucking gold in figure skating in 16 years. 16 years. The curse is gonna be broken. This is when it's all gonna change things. South Korea doesn't know exactly who per se is gonna be the curse breaker since they haven't had the Olympic trials yet, meaning it's unclear which one is gonna rep South Korea in the Winter Olympics, but there's a few guesses. Now, a few months ago, May of 2024, South Korea decides, hey, we got 2 years left before the Winter Olympics. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna send 10 figure skaters to Milan, which is where the Olympics are gonna be held in 2 years. And they're gonna go for 2 weeks to practice, literally a field trip. 6 girls, 2 seniors, so they're qualified to compete in the adult Olympics, 4 juniors, and 4 boys. We don't know if the boys are all juniors. We don't know anything, okay? 2 weeks, all expenses paid, all paid by the Korean Skating Union.
A vacation?
No. Well, it seems like it, kind of. Because, okay, so they're going to this part outside of Milan that only has 1 ice skating rink. But people were like, it's fine. It's fine. They're going to go to the rink every single day and they're going to train for the 2026 Milan Winter Olympics. Korean netizens are so excited. They're writing, the change in popularity for skating after Kim Yeona was monumental. But it takes a long time for popularity to translate into talent. And we're finally seeing the return on the investment. Now it's happening. Just because everybody suddenly was interested in figure skating doesn't mean everyone was good. It takes decades to get good. So those fucking 4-year-olds that started in 2010, they're probably going on this trip now. Oh yeah. And some of these kids on that team could be that good. And the Korean Skating Union is putting all of these resources into the athletes going to Italy for 2 weeks. It's all just the environment for success. It's also a practice run. Clearly, they think some of these athletes have really strong potential. How serious is South Korea taking it? Very freaking seriously. These kids, these athletes, these skaters, they get paparazzi'd at the Incheon airport like a little K-pop group, okay? They're leaving for Milan. They're all wearing their uniforms. That is sponsored by BBQ Chicken, which I couldn't find any other context. I just know that they're sponsored by BBQ Chicken. And I'm like, have you seen these kids' Instagram posts and their news networks like behind the day of a potential Olympian figure skater? They're not eating BBQ Chicken. That's all I gotta say, okay? They're eating like dressingless Caesar salads and some grilled tofu. I would also take a BBQ Chicken sponsorship. I'm just saying. Now, anyways, when the kids first get there, they have this super cute Instagram video that gets posted by one of the skaters. They're dancing to Les Seraphim's Anti-Fragile, and they're doing TikTok dances, but on ice. I love when people do superhuman things. Very human. TikTok dances on ice. It's the way that Olympians are so unserious when they're not doing their very serious sports is my favorite type of video consumption. They're wearing the Olympic ring glasses.
Oh,
you know which ones I'm talking about?
Yes.
They just look really cute. They're doing their little skates around the ice and the video ends with Team Korea. It's like a recruitment video. If I see this video, I'm fucking enlisting in the South Korean army as an American citizen because patriotism is flowing through the pixels of this screen. It's a good video. After these kids get back to South Korea, 2 weeks in Italy, they come back. A news article announces that there is an investigation underway into the athletes that went to Italy. In short, the initial report states it has been confirmed that some figure skating national team members drank alcohol at the dorm several times during the overseas field training trip, which is a clear violation of training regulations. Aside from that, 1 male athlete snuck into a girl's dorm room, which is strictly prohibited. The Korean Ice Skating Federation is starting a disciplinary procedure, and they're going to investigate all the players involved.
Whoa.
Bruh. This Italy trip was not just to figure skate in Italy, okay? This trip is also to teach the kids what it's like to be in Italy, to prepare them. I don't know if you guys know this, I'm sure you do, but every time a country goes to the Olympics, you're not just an Olympian. You are a spokesperson. You are the face of the country. Don't embarrass us. We will punch you in the face if you embarrass us. You can't be sneaking out. You can't be doing this bullshit. You can't be posting TikTok videos that offends the locals. You cannot be doing that. You will become a national disgrace. So the fact that they're breaking regulations, drinking, sneaking into each other's dorms, really bad look. I feel like in America, it's like, ooh, that's news, but maybe we're not even talking about it because it's not that big of a deal. In Korea, they take this very, very seriously.
And then I think the Olympians...
Oh, the committee, the figure skating
not
committee?
Not just the committee, the culture too.
Oh.
Remember how your mom was telling you about the culture of these countries?
It's crazy. When you are an Olympian for a country like South Korea, you are no longer a person. You're like property of South Korea. You are their ambassador. So you better be on point. Anything personally you do is a reflection of the country. This is crazy news in South Korea. The comment starts going off. People
The everyday stress of life can trigger a vaginal yeast infection. Don't let it hold you back. Canestin cures most vaginal yeast infections after one application. Canestin.
are responding, you had one job, people, one job to be Olympians. Don't break the rules. A lot of other K netizens were asking follow-up questions that I guess would make them more or less angry. I don't know. But they were asking, how often were these kids drinking? Like every night? Because that could be a potential addiction problem. Where are the supervisors on this trip? Aren't there minors involved? We're the only ones caught drinking of drinking age, because breaking training regulations and underage drinking, those are two different things. If it's both, that's even more serious. Who is the male athlete that snuck into the female dorm? There's only one explanation for sneaking into a girl's room. That's what the K netizen writes. Look, I'm just reading the comments. I'm just translating. These are not the questions I have. Don't shoot the messenger. Everybody wants updates, but nobody wanted the updates that were to come, because another news outlet would announce that one of the athletes involved would now be facing a 3-year suspension, disqualifying them from even trying to compete in the 2026 Olympics. And people are wondering, 3-year suspension? You have to do something really serious for that. What the hell happened on this trip? There is another curse that exists all around the world, by the way, that has nothing to do with figure skating. It has to do with monthly subscriptions. The ones that we all forget that we had. We don't even use because we don't even know that we have them. They're buried so deep in our bank statements. I believe in my freedom to do mathematics the way that I see fit. I think it is my right.
Hi, welcome. Chill stream today.
In this country, I firmly believe it's a constitutional right to behave as if the money that I get from canceling a subscription that I forgot that I was paying for the last year and a half is me making money. Okay, but really, the curse of subscriptions, it's a curse that is so easily breakable by just downloading Rocket Money. Rocket Money has saved their users over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. Let me explain. Have you ever forgotten to cancel a subscription? Or have you just been too lazy to cancel one? Because me. There was one time, this was so embarrassing. Okay, you know those AI productivity apps? I think I saw an ad about it on TikTok and I was like, ooh, AI time management. Tell me why my dumb brain thought it was gonna be different than any other time management app. I thought it was gonna hack into my brain and rewire things up here. And for that price tag, I'm very upset that they did not. 4 weeks later, I get an email saying, thank you for renewing your subscription. But here's the thing. I thought I canceled my free trial and the betrayal was so real in the moment. And then I remembered that I had Rocket Money. All I had to do was cancel my subscription with a few taps. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better. My husband and I both use it to cancel subscriptions all the time. It makes it so convenient. You can see all of your subscriptions in one place. It's so easy to manage. You never have to get on the phone with customer service. Or here's my thing. I create a subscription and then I forget the password to that account. So then I have to go through 25 steps to, first of all, forget my password, re-log into the account, find the cancel my subscription button that's somewhere hidden depths into the code of this website. Rocket Money does all of the heavy lifting. I even use Rocket Money to track my spending habits. They let you create a budget that you can easily keep track of. And if I exceed my budget, I get notified to calm down, which is what my husband used to have to do. But now Rocket Money does it automatically, which saves us both a lot of time. Maybe the real productivity app was Rocket Money this whole time. Plus, it saves us a lot of money. Users can save up to $740 a year using Rocket Money. And to save more and spend less, join the over 5 million members using Rocket Money today. Go to rocketmoney.com/bis or click the link in the description
Alright, I've been drawing for a while. I've been drawing ever since like super little. But taking it seriously, probably like maybe 5 years now, taking it more seriously. I'm just gonna switch over to my headphones. I had my speakers on because I didn't have my microphone off.
To get started for free.
Okay.
You can also unlock even more features with Premium. That's rocketmoney.com/bis to get started for free. Thank you, Rocket Money, for sponsoring today's video, and let's get into it. After doing extensive research on figure skating, I am now more impressed, and I have also never been more certain in my entire freaking life that I do not know what I'm talking about. But here is what I've gathered. This is how to be an Olympic figure skater 101 by Stephanie Su. This is how you break South Korea's figure skating curse. It's so freaking easy. Said by a woman who has to stop every few blocks on the street to go look at something in the store because honestly, I just want some AC and I need to catch my breath. So take all of this with a grain of salt and just imagine everything to be a million times harder than I'm explaining. Most Olympic level figure skaters start at 4 to 5 years old, which, okay, here's the thing. I was also wondering if there's a reason for it. And there is. Usually kids pick up things faster than adults. That I know, right? They're usually not as scared of falling, which is interesting. And a big part of figure skating is falling. If you're too scared to fall, you will never learn. Kids, they don't innately have that strong fear until they grow up. And muscle memory, they say that figure skating relies heavily on muscle memory. And they say when you start as a kid, your spirals and spins just look so much better than an adult or someone who's maybe 15 and started learning because your body is just used to bending in certain ways. Also, think about it. If you're on the ice for most of your life, you're just going to be more steady and confident on the ice. Some figure skaters state, watching competitions, you can always tell who skated as a kid and who didn't. Then you have to master all the technical stuff, all the jumps and spins. You gotta hope you don't slice your face open and train all day, every single day. That's it. By the time that the skaters go to sleep, after all their practices, it's like 11:30 p.m. People have said figure skating is like, imagine a tightrope walker. They're on this tightrope, but instead of walking, they're doing dance moves and spins and acrobatics, all the while balancing on this very thin wire. That's what wearing the skates feels like. You're balancing on this thin, sharp blade on freezing, cold, slippery ice. The ice is kept between 22 to 26 degrees. It can't even vary much because figure skaters have to have the warmest ice. I didn't know this. I went down a wormhole. Hockey players have harder ice than figure skaters because harder ice is more speed. But softer ice is important because if a figure skater jumps and lands, even if they stick the landing perfectly, if the ice is too hard, they could snap their ankles.
Wow.
Just on the firmness of the ice. There is a science to the ice at these professional Olympic level rinks. First of all, frost is the enemy of speed and control. It's also very dangerous, which means these rinks have to have humidity levels down to 40% at all times. All times. They have dehumidifiers in the stadiums. Then you have to set the temperature for the whole stadium so the ice doesn't get impacted. But depending on how many people are coming to watch, you have to factor in human generated heat. And if it's in the summer months, even constant opening and closing of the facility doors can f up the ice. It's not optimal ice anymore. There are certified ice technicians that control the ice for ice sports. It's a very serious niche that I never knew existed. You know those jobs where you're like, that makes sense, it exists, and they're so valuable, but I just never thought about it. It's a very technical, physically exhausting sport that requires a lot of skills. You can't just be good at figure skating. It's one of those sports where you don't just practice that sport. I find that so fascinating.
Wait, what do you mean?
They say that figure skaters, to be a top tier figure skater, you can't just figure skate. You have to take ballet classes because you need to train your body for flexibility. And also, half of the figure skating grading scales for the Olympics is artistry. Basically, elegance, grace, your artistic musicality. It's not very objective. It's kind of subjective.
It's like a performance that you're like, I like yours more.
Yes. And for grace, right? So the judges will rate you on all of that, including the elegance of your hands while jumping, things of that nature. So a lot of the figure skaters, they'll do ballet. Like imagine you have fucking taped kitchen knives to your shoes and you're jumping at high speeds on a man-made glacier and some bitch in the corner is like, -2 points for elegance. I would punch someone in the face, okay? Cardio. You gotta have stamina to keep up with your routines. Strength training. Also, a lot of them reportedly take martial arts to strengthen their core. For what? for falling. I didn't know this was a thing. There's a specific way you have to fall. In figure skating, the first lesson is teaching you how to fall. They say never fall forwards or backwards and avoid catching yourself with your hands. Did you know the number one injury figure skaters have? Wrists from trying to catch themselves when they fall. No, concussions.
Concussions?
They hit their head on the ice. They're like the highest winter sport for concussions. Those skiers skiing down mountains that you're like, that's a vertical ski. No, figure skaters have higher rates of concussions. So they say that martial arts teaches you how to fall because you engage your core when you fall midair so that your head doesn't snap and slam onto the ice. It's like really crazy, yeah. So you got to spend money and time to get physical therapy to recover from all the strains and tears. You got to go to the chiropractor, get deep tissue massages. And then, this is crazy, they have acting coaches. Some of the top ones have acting coaches because they have to practice their facial expressions in the mirror to match the choreography.
Fascinating.
They're graded on their facial expressions, their emotes. Yeah, it's like the weirdest thing, and your face is covered in sweat and snot. You're sweating because obviously you're exerting your body in superhuman ways, but also, okay, yes, open your snack. But also, your nose can't stop running because you have a lot of cold air coming at your face while you're skating. You just eat your snot, they say.
No.
Yeah, you just have to hope that the judges don't see it and it's not like a big, massive booger. It's such a big deal that most skaters will blow their nose before stepping on ice before a performance, hoping they get all the mucus out.
Oh, no.
And there's even conversations about using brightly colored tissues because white tissues, if they fall into the ice and get embedded, if there is anything on the ice, anything at all, skaters can slip and fall and get concussed.
So brightly colored so that everyone can catch it.
Yes, and see it. Like, hey, there's a neon pink tissue over there on the ice. Versus white tissues, they blend into the ice. Like, it's a whole thing. They got a lot going on. There's a lot of problems, especially because they're pushing themselves. One Olympian said, yeah, we just fall to learn. That's how we learn. But the high you get from figure skating, one American Olympian said, honestly, why walk when you can glide or skate? There's nothing like the feeling of
Royale Tiger Towel Paper Towel.
That's
the
crazy.
one that's Tiger Strong.
You can skip this video, but you can't skip the truth. Right now, in North Gaza, children are going to bed hungry.
Oh yeah, I love her, by the way. She will even put, this is like a hack of figure skaters. So you know when they do their spins in the air, they jump into the air and they start spinning. Yeah. And they say the tighter your body is, the better. You get more speed that way, right? Mm-hmm. So what they do is they take out dog toy squeakers. They put them right above their ankles. And they want to hear it squeak when they're in the air. Because that means their legs are tight together. Both their legs are together to the point where the squeaker toy goes off. Like everything is so fascinating. The way that they train is so creative. Also, apparently figure skaters duct tape their ankles to help them break their skates in so they don't get blisters. And they say you literally have to tape yourself back together when you're a figure skater. So the training, a lot of it is off ice. They have some of the bizarre training methods. It makes total sense, but it's fascinating to look at because I saw this one TikTok during the Paris Olympics of the Chinese swimmer, the one that is like a fish because she doesn't splash when she hits the water. And they were showing her behind the scenes of how she trains. And there's this bar, and it's just a bar connected to two wheels on the side. Mm-hmm. She loops her body around the bar and they just fucking spin her like they're sending her through a centrifuge. They're just spinning her and I'm like, this is insane. They do the same thing for figure skaters, but they're standing up. Imagine you go fishing and you get a fish on the hook and then you lift it into the air and now this fish is just lifted into the air. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck around. And you just start spinning that fish around and around. That is what the Olympians look like. And the way their hair, sometimes I feel like if they open their mouth, they would get that like weird, do you know what I'm talking about? Yes.
Like that?
So they have to practice spinning like that. And
with
I'm
their
like,
mouth closed?
Yeah, but their hair goes crazy. Their hair goes crazy. Yeah, they look cool. So I'm like, if that were me, I would throw up. Apparently you don't. Apparently figure skaters don't get dizzy. So I'm like, oh, I get it. It's like ballet. Because you know in ballet, I think they look at one point and they spin and they keep looking at that point, yeah? They're like, no, You can't even focus on one point in figure skating because you're spinning too fast for that. Studies have shown that when a figure skater spins, the part of the brain that makes you dizzy doesn't activate.
Really?
I think it happens too quickly. And then they're like, what just happened? The brain is like, hello?
Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
That's
except
crazy.
maybe during a triple axel, you might get a little woozy. That's when you do 3 full rotations in the air, which is really crazy. It's a notoriously difficult jump and spin thingy. That's like the professional way of saying it. And you're basically going and defying gravity, and you have to jump at around 20 miles per hour to get the speed to spin 3 full rotations. Wow. And that spin lasts less than a second.
Wow.
One Olympic figure skater said, the faster you spin, the harder it is to basically breathe because there's so much force. So that's why they spin you around and they're like, breathe.
Wait, who said breathe?
I feel like I would as a trainer. Yeah. I'd be like,
Breathe, come on.
and then I'd just
Breathe
walk.
in.
Breathe out.
Breathe out.
I'm just snacking on the side. Others have said triple axels feel like you're cliff diving. You have to be so precise with pressing into the ice, cutting into the ice with your blade, and how you stop your blade. It's like no room for error.
I feel like I'm ready. Like, this is super fascinating. I feel like you should do like
Every sport.
every sport. Yes.
Piss off everyone. Piss off every athlete in the world.
I feel like I have more appreciation than before.
Yes. Okay. That's how I felt with like gymnastics, right? Because the whole point of athletes is they make it look effortless to the point where you're like, I could do that because it looks so easy, and that's the grace of it, right? That's the point of it. And then you look at how technical it is, and maybe we should. Yeah, because it gets really crazy. There's actually so many illegal banned moves in figure skating, because I know with gymnastics, people were talking about all the banned moves. Figure skating has so many banned moves. Did you know that you can actually, technically, theoretically, physically do a backflip while figure skating?
You cannot?
You can physically, but it is banned. It's an illegal move.
Really?
It became illegal because there was an Olympian who did it at the Olympics. This was the first time it was ever done at the Olympics, like back in the 70s or something. Everybody was so shook. They had never seen that shit in their whole lives before, to the point where the judges had to shut up and go to the corner and have an emergency meeting because that shit was so cool. Yeah. But you could literally kill yourself doing that. So do we ban it because people could try to imitate it and then kill themselves? Like athletes could get easily injured. So they banned it. They banned the backflip. You could fall on your head. The blade is so close to your face. It's just so many things could go wrong, and it looks incredibly unstable. There's actually one really famous backflip in the Olympics. So she is a renowned figure skater. I believe she was representing the French team. Oh, I wish I could look into this story more. I should for another case or something, but she represents the French team. This was like back in the 90s, I think. Don't quote me on it. Maybe 80s. She said there was a lot of racism. It's a primarily white sport, and she had done something that she believed that the judges were gonna ding her for in a lot of the competitive parts. So she decides she's just gonna whip out a backflip in the middle of the Olympics, knowing it's an illegal sport, because her whole thing was, I'm never gonna win over the judges. They literally hate me because I'm black, which was pretty accurate. So she's like, I'm gonna win the audience over. Did a backflip, landed on one foot.
Backflip on one
Yeah,
foot?
On one foot. So she was like, it doesn't matter how good I am at this.
I never seen that on a YouTube video like a couple months ago, and they're saying how it's like a bad move or something like that. I was wondering, why is it a bad move? It's pretty cool, but apparently, as she explained, because backflips are illegal, is so dangerous. Makes sense though.
Sport, so I might as well show everyone how good I am.
Whoa.
She's so cool. Yeah, I hope she's doing well.
She's so cool. She
They
is.
banned the backflip. Okay, there's another one called the headbanger that they banned. This is when a guy holds a girl by her ankles.
I know that one.
And he starts spinning around, right?
That's crazy.
But he does the up and down motion, and so her head goes up, and then her head almost touches and bangs onto the ice. But he's like, no, I'm gonna lift you before it bangs onto the ice. And then he just like puts her life at risk for however many seconds straight.
What a name, huh?
It doesn't even look elegant or good. I'm just, it just looks.
That's crazy.
It
That
just
one's
looks
crazy.
like a woman's world. So dangerous. Okay. Listen, I only trust one man enough to do that with, and he has a very bad back. So I guess I do not trust you to do that.
I was like, don't trust me on that.
You said not
me.
Other ones, lying down is banned.
Lying down? What does that mean?
I don't know why it was a trend at one point to just like lie down on the ice. Yeah, basically you just worm around, which is not considered skating, so it was banned. It is honestly a rather dangerous sport. I will give you that if you're not careful. Some figure skaters, they even have these superstitions that they do. One skater said, for me, I have my bag with my skates in there. I take my right skate out, put it on, lace it up fully before I take out my left skate. And they say if they don't do that, they have to like walk out the stadium and then come back in. Another one said, I always eat 2 strawberry flavored Tic Tacs before getting on the ice. One said left skate always gets tied first and then always onto the ice first. And then they're really particular about their costumes. Costumes are graded for the Olympics.
That's my question. Who picks those costumes? Like, what's the rules? Right?
Okay, so the costumes, there are rules. Clothing and makeup must be modest, dignified, and appropriate for athletic competition. They say no garish or theatrical design. Clothing may, however, reflect the character of the music chosen. Clothing must not give the effect of excessive nudity. Yeah, guys must wear trousers. They're banned from wearing tights, which a lot of female skaters will choose to wear skirts, even though technically they can wear pants now. Because for one, they said, it seems like the judges weirdly like it better when the girls wear skirts, which is weird. Yeah, it's like a very traditional sport, like rooted in tradition. And it's, you know, you don't want to piss off the judges. But also one Olympian states, it's very aerodynamic and you have to be very light on your feet. You'll notice that between the single skates, like the girls that skate alone, who are doing lots of jumps, the more jumps you do, the skirts will be shorter. It's better aerodynamically.
They choose to wear shorter skirts if you jump a lot.
Yes, because it's better for jumping. Whereas ice dancers who don't do a lot of jumps, they typically have longer dresses. So you don't want fabric just whipping around. It could slow you down and you need speed. Speed is hard to gather on the ice. Now the costumes themselves are actually quite expensive. I was looking at it and most Olympic level costumes, you're looking at anywhere between $1,000 to $5,000. Each one is custom made. There's hand sewn seams, embellishments. So that's why they have a lot of crystals, because they're saying it's you alone in this massive ice rink. You need to take everything to your advantage. You need the light to shimmer off of you, and the crystals are the easiest way. Which leads to one Olympian saying, this is a nasty fact, but we don't really wash our dresses because each crystal is hand glued onto the dress. And if you were to throw it into the laundry machine, then it would all fall off. The crystals, you know, help you keep you in the center of focus. So I might hand wash, just usually the armpit parts, but otherwise you just do like a nice deodorizing spray and forget about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
But then you also can wear the same one all the time during competitions, right?
Exactly. And even just the Olympics itself, you need 2 costumes per season. So that's $10,000 just on costumes.
And that's out of the pocket for the athlete themselves.
Breaking news and a surprise contender in the marathon.
Yes, Rachel, someone has caught up to the front. He's carrying a fridge.
Sorry, Jenny, something.
So it depends on the country, and it depends on, I think some of them are internationally covered, but most countries will only cover a part of it.
Wow.
Yeah. Then the custom made skate, that's even crazier, with the sharp ass blades that can slice open your skin.
How much are those?
Those are like $1,000, but you go through them.
Oh, you go through the blades?
Yeah, you go through the whole boot and the skate. So Kim Yana at one point, she was changing between 3 to 6 per year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Also, hair and makeup has to be sweat-proof, waterproof, and your hair has to be solid as a rock. Like you.
But you know, also like that makes me think that means there are people, artisans. All they do is make costumes.
There are. I went on the figure skating subreddit. There are posts dedicated to all the costume makers. Some of them are not even taking new clients.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even sell to the general public.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like their
This
whole
world.
career.
See, then that also made me think, like, if you're in design, clothing design, like maybe look into these fields. If there are demands, and then, you know, you can really create something.
Yeah. And
that's so interesting.
I think it's beautiful. I think their costumes are beautiful. I know it's rooted in tradition, but they look ethereal when they're skating. When it matches the music and it matches the skater, it's this fucking chemistry on the ice that's out of this world. Honestly, this whole thing.
Sorry, that guy. Is someone watching a video or what I got randomly this after watching fitness video. I'm just drawing and I'm listening to a podcast. So I have something in the background when I'm working. Hey, the algorithm brought you here. Welcome. Feel free to join and follow.
Feels like getting ready for the red carpet, but fucking doing parkour on the ice. That's what it feels like. Yeah, it's wild. So Kim Yeona is the ice queen of South Korea. This is how everyone describes her figure skating. Lighter than air, grace in her movements on the ice. She carves the ice like a calligrapher. A supreme serenity that has no arrogance to it. When someone sneezes in South Korea, you say, Yuna bless you. Okay. People said whenever Yuna skates, the stock market quiet stops. Everything pauses. Korean Air stops mid-flight. They're just stalling in the sky until she's done.
Dang.
It's fascinating, okay? She's one of the first few, I don't want to say the first, but first few Korean athletes who broke into becoming more than just an athlete, like full on surpassed even celebrity status. Wow. She's like a national treasure.
Is she, would you say she's like number one in terms of influence as an athlete?
Yeah, she's, well, okay, right now we have our soccer players in South Korea and the sharpshooters and the archery team. But in 2010, no one's coming close.
Got it.
No one's even touching her. Even now, she's still pulling in like $1 million per ad.
Damn.
Yeah, this is like, she retired in 2014.
Yeah. Wow.
So she's still pulling in $1 million. Everybody loves her. You can't find one person in this world that doesn't like Kim Yeona. There was an interview done where people were going around asking Korean moms, like, oh my God, who do you want your son to marry? Which, first of all, what kind of fucking question is that? Who's willing to marry your son is a better question. All of them were like, honestly, Kim Yeona would be my favorite. And I'm like, who's your son? Who's your son? Who's your friend? Huh? That's crazy. Don't talk about Kim Yeona like that. She is the nation's daughter. The nation's daughter. She's like up there. It's estimated that in 2014, she was making like $25 million a year, putting her at the top of like top paid female athletes in the world. Her coach said, when you're in Korea with Kim Yeona, because he's from Canada, it's like you're traveling with Princess Diana. She is that famous there. She's probably the most recognizable face in Korea.
Wow.
I agree. Which is crazy. Her lore, I'm sorry, her lore is not part of today's story, but I can't not include it because I'm so obsessed with her. She started training at 5 years old. I can't even promise you that I could walk in a straight line at 5 years old, but she's on the ice. She's training on ice, and at that point, there was only one public ice rink nearby in all of Seoul. And her mom had to pay rent for her to use it privately to train because she needs to bring in a coach, which is not only expensive, but also the rink is like, well, we can't close during operating hours, meaning Yuna would have to come in after hours and she would get done training at 2 in the morning. In the middle of the night. Sometimes the ice would be too cold. She would get injuries because, like I said, the ice temperature is very important. It's like a local neighborhood skating rink that commoners go to. And that's her training facilities. Even before the Olympics, she suffered a strained ligament in her right ankle. She couldn't take a break from training. She had to receive treatment as she's training. She has constant pain in her ankles due to her powerful jumping power, is what her coaches said. And those ankle pains spread to her knees and her waist. Yeah, and nobody knew this because she's just out here like winning all the titles. So there are titles for figure skating. It's considered a grand slam in figure skating if you win the Worlds, the Grand Prix, the European Championship, and the 4 continents competition. Those are the names, 4 of them. 4 different competitions. If you win, you're a Grand Slam figure skater.
Where does the Olympic fall?
That's where the Olympics comes in, okay? Then the level above that is a Golden Grand Slam. You got all of that plus a gold medal at the Olympics. But there's also a Super Career Grand Slam. Yuna was the first to get it, which is you win all 4 major tournaments, but both in the junior and senior league. You won all the juniors of all 4, then the seniors, then you win a gold medal. That is the Super Career Grand Slam. Yeah. They had to make a name for it because they were like, wait, we didn't expect you to do that. You just went above and beyond, huh? And now we have to do paperwork. So Kim Yeona is the hero to all these figure skaters, and people were finally excited because it felt like in 2026, we're gonna get our next gold medalist for figure skating. But then the articles start blowing up all over in June 2024. So like a few months ago, one article reads, a female figure skater who had her national team qualifications temporarily suspended for drinking alcohol in her accommodations during an overseas training camp has been given severe disciplinary action after being found to have sexually harassed a junior of the opposite sex. So this is new information. At first, Korean netizens were like, okay, there's some sort of drinking scandal going on with the potential Olympians for the figure skating team. But now it's saying, hey, we suspended a female athlete for drinking, but also she was sexually harassing a minor on this trip. They write, female athlete A drank alcohol several times in her dorm with fellow female athlete B. It also states that both of them were of legal drinking age. So they're like, okay, they're not underage drinking illegally, but still, you're not allowed to drink on this trip. Then they state that minor athlete C, so this is a guy, underage, has snuck into their room and they were caught like drinking together. The committee has imposed a 3-year suspension of athlete A for also sexually harassing the minor junior athlete C. Male athlete C was being investigated for violating the training guidelines by entering the opposite dorms when the federation found out about all of this. The federation has also imposed a 1-year suspension on female athlete B. In addition to drinking with female athlete A, the federation stated that athlete B sent a photo of athlete A to minor athlete C that could be considered sexual harassment. So let me clarify and summarize. 3 athletes, A and B, are girlies. They're seniors. They're dorming together during the trip. They're both drinking beer. They're technically of legal drinking age, so that's fine, but they're not supposed to be drinking on this trip.
They're at a hotel, right?
Yes. Then one night, athlete B, one of the girls, sends a picture of athlete A to this male junior athlete C. And that picture is presumed to be somewhat explicit to some degree because netizens wonder why else would athlete B also get a 1-year suspension. Regardless, minor athlete C sneaks into the dorm that night. And ultimately, we know that the night ends with athlete A sexually harassing athlete C, the junior male athlete. It's confusing and a little bit strange. Not strange, the incident, but strange in terms of just weirdly written, the articles. And the article gives just enough details for netizens to start piecing together who they believe are athlete A and C, which is also another problem that people had with this. So they believe athlete A to be a figure skater named Hae Lee. Hae was considered one of the next potential Yoona Kims. By the time that she was 10, she's already mastered the 5 jumps of figure skating, which is pretty insane. She's so good that her nickname in this figure skating world was Novice Ecosystem Destroyer. This is
What
weird.
does that mean?
It's like the translation, okay? It's used a lot in gaming, but it means that somebody is a newbie, they're a novice, but they're so good that they have a significant impact on the whole game or the whole environment or whatever they're doing. So it's like you're destroying the ecosystem even though you're a newbie. And people are like, I don't know if this girl even knows how good she is. She was asked about her nickname as the Novice Ecosystem Destroyer, and she just said, I didn't even know that was a nickname like that I had. There was a kid who learned how to jump quickly in a short period of time. So I just thought, okay, maybe I can jump faster. And I didn't know that I would be good at it. But then I learned to jump and I just thought, oh, I did it. I did the jump. And then I just tried the next one and I was like, oh, okay, I did this one too. And I don't think I ever thought, oh, maybe I'm getting good at this. I just more so thought, I wish I want to learn more, how to jump more and master more jumps.
I'm Noel Honig, and I'm a director and a designer. If I'm working with type in Photoshop, the properties panel shows all of the exact same properties that it would when I import that same type and bring it into.
Wow.
Honestly, like I think every athlete should just...
YouTube is weird. It brings you everywhere. You watch one video about Legos, for the next 2 weeks, it's all videos about Legos.
remembers all the bad stuff about herself. She says, I just remember that when I was young, I had a hard time memorizing the routines because it is a choreography and I cried a lot. It was hard to memorize the moves my teacher taught me, but also I would watch because, you know, they record you doing it and there were a lot of parts that I didn't like. In 2023, a year before this incident, Hae competed in the Worlds, which, side note, it's like the Olympics, but just for figure skaters. It's very difficult. You have to be invited to compete. She won 2 silver medals and 1 gold. It's known to be one of the most prestigious events in figure skating, which she did have a controversy at the Worlds. Apparently, she was reciting a mantra to herself before the performance that she won silver in, and nobody could hear her, but they can see her mouth moving. And so all these lip readers, they came online and they said it seems like her lips are moving to say I am Kim Yuna, which
Why is
caused
that bad?
that's what I'm wondering. Some people really hated it, saying she's weird, she's creepy, she needs to focus on being herself, like she wants to take over Kim Yuna's spot. I feel
That's
like
weird.
if I were Kim Yuna, I would be honored to know that I am giving someone strength before such an important moment of their lives. But I don't know, I could be wrong, right? Some netizens were really angry
That
about
would
it. Like,
be
she's out here trying
the
to
dream.
replace Kim Yuna. Kim
Thank
Yuna is
you.
irreplaceable.
If I'm saying it right, gat or flat? gat or flat. Nice. Thank you. Yeah, it's just a chill stream, just watching, and I appreciate that. Yeah, it'd be nice to do this full time. They're just doing it for fun. That's the goal, full time one day. Thank you.
Yeah, which is crazy. But she clarified it and she said, no, I was saying let's do it like the 4 continents, which obviously in the English translation sounds like 2 different things. But in Korean, the mouth kind of sounds similar. The mouth movements.
Oh, she's saying something else.
Yeah, she was saying, no, I was saying let's do it like the 4 continents. But then people were saying, you were saying, I am Kim Yuna and you're weird. And she was like, no, that's not what I was saying. Who knows what she was saying, okay? But it's a weird controversy to begin with. Now, nobody really knew for certain who athlete A, B, or C, or any of these people were. Everybody had some pretty good guesses, but they're just guesses until Hain posts about it herself. She technically outs herself as athlete A, the one that's been suspended for sexually harassing minor athlete C. She posts a black square on Instagram, which is typically a strong indicator that shit is about to go down. This is June 26th of this year. So a month after the trip, she posts. The caption reads, and this is condensed for length. Hello, this is E. Hain. I'm really sorry. I don't know what to say to the many fans who are disappointed in me. She continues to apologize over and over again. Then she continues. However, the article says that I molested or sexually assaulted a minor, but this is not true. He was the boyfriend I had last year when I was in high school. We broke up due to my parents being opposed, but I met him again during the training trip. Perhaps we still had feelings for each other. We started dating again at the camp, but decided to keep it a secret from our parents. Even when I was being investigated by the skating federation for the drinking and stuff, I didn't say that I was dating him, because indicating she didn't want to get in trouble for it. But when I heard that I was sexually harassing a minor, it felt like my world was falling apart. She states that the sexual harassment is her giving him a hickey. She says, I thought it was just a prank or an expression of affection between lovers, but I never imagined that even if we couldn't reveal that we were dating, we would be misunderstood like this. I received undeserved expectations and love since I was young, but I'm truly sorry for showing a lack of character right now. No matter what disciplinary action is taken by the Korean Sports Council, I will deeply reflect and strive to never commit such a mistake in my future. People are like, what the fork is happening right now? So the biggest initial problem with this apology is not only does she admit to being athlete A and everything that comes with that, but because of what she says, everybody knows who athlete C is. Because a year ago, she did post with another figure skater, a selfie of them making hearts with their hands, and stated that this was basically her boyfriend. At the time, a year ago, they were both minors. She was 17, he was 14 allegedly. Because it hasn't been confirmed exactly who minor C is, and I'm not saying his name in any of this, but she was 17, he was allegedly 14. So they were both minors, right? Which I don't know how that works, 17 and 14. You guys let me know in the comments. But the math was confusing because she turned 19 years old a month prior to this trip. Because I know that was a year ago. So you're like, oh, then wouldn't she be 18? Well, she just turned 19.
And how old is he?
15 going on 16.
What?
It's a whole thing. Anyway, they were just dating. That's what she's saying. That's her way of justifying that it wasn't sexual harassment, which is not how it works, okay? Because, like, you can still have dated someone. You can still be dating someone and sexually harass someone. But Korean netizens, they start piecing together the timeline. And it seems like, wait, if the people that we think are involved are actually involved, they were both minors when they dated. They dated for about 3 months. Their parents disapproved and forced them to break up. There were some suspicions that they were forced to break up because C's parents didn't like that she was 3.5 years older than him. But a lot of Korean netizens think, well, no, they were probably forced to break up because you can't really be dating as an Olympian, especially at that age. Like, this is the most important part of your life. Which again, I'm just telling you what's going on online, okay? I'm not saying that's what his parents said. I'm not saying that's how I would behave as his parents. I'm just saying, right? They were likely forbidden from talking and dating. But Hain seems to claim that they had feelings for each other still. And after reuniting in Italy, after seeing each other again, halfway into this training camp, they start dating again. Hain and her roommate are in the room. They're drinking. Hain asks C to come to the room, which is against the rules, but C, for whatever reason, sneaks into the girls' dorm anyway. And I say for whatever reason, as in, I don't know if he felt pressured right then and there, or if he went hoping to just have a chill night. I don't know. They start drinking. It is unclear if minor C drank at all. I don't think he did. But eventually, he leaves. And the next morning, the coach sees something on minor C's neck that prompts the whole supervising team to investigate because it looks like a hickey. They uncover the drinking. They uncover the sneaking into the girls' dorm. And so they're like, what the fuck is going on? Now, what happened in that room, there's two sides of the story, if you will. That's how it's being presented. Skater C allegedly states that while the girls were drinking, they asked him, do you know what a hickey is? He said he didn't know what a hickey is, but Hain suggests that she could show him. She leans over, gives him a hickey, and apparently they were playing some sort of truth or dare game, I imagine. But something in the air shifts after that. He did not like it. He felt very uncomfortable. He was just asking, I don't know what that word is. And then suddenly, like it's a lot. It's not okay. He didn't consent. He just didn't feel right about it. It didn't feel good. So afterwards, he leaves and they text and they talk about it and they make plans to meet again in the morning. But that is before the coach finds the hickey. Hain, on the other hand, she says after the news breaks, she outs herself as athlete A and starts talking to the media a lot, like a little too much. It seems like, honestly, it does seem like she's panicked, trying to justify what's going on. She says, well, during the board game, as a penalty, I softly bit his neck, but we were in a relationship. Which people are like, it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship if you didn't feel comfortable with it. But then she's like, well, no, we weren't actually in a relationship. And then people are like, now we're getting more confused and you seem messier and worse. Which, yes, it's not a good take. Now, where it gets really messy is Hain alleges that she just said all of that because her agency told her to say that. So she's saying that she was getting investigated by the Federation afterwards because after they find the hickey on the minor boy's neck, they start investigating. They ask her a bunch of questions and she answers in the way that her agency tells her to answer, which is we were not dating. And because of that, she believes that the Federation labeled her a sexual harasser. She's saying if they knew we were dating, then they would have known it was consensual. But a lot of people are like, that's still not how it works, right? They have the same agency. The agency informed them, hey, Hain and minor boy C, if you guys are to say that you're dating, it's going to lead to harsher punishments. That's just how the Federation works. They don't like relationships. They don't like when you guys are dating. Like, they don't like that. So it's extra breaking of the guidelines to be sexual. Like that would be the motive of breaking the guidelines. Whereas for this, you should just say we were young, we wanted to play board games.
So she's kind of saying the agency kind of set her up.
Is her claim. And so she's like, okay, I went and I told the Federation exactly what the agency told me, but when athlete C went in, he didn't tell the Federation what he agreed to say. So she's insinuating that he might have cracked under pressure to say that she did this to him and he didn't want it. Again, all allegations from Hain claims, I'm repeating what I researched, okay? Hain ends up doing a full-blown interview on June 26th. This is 6 days into her 3-year suspension. And the 3-year suspension is a really big deal because this is in 2024, which means she's disqualified from representing South Korea in 2026. And the next time she'll be viable to compete is in 2030. And at that point, I mean, like her peak age for performing is probably now. She states that she only said what her agency told her to say. And she said, it was clearly my fault that I drank alcohol during training. I really, really want to tell you that I'm sorry. She said, it happened while we were dating and I was very heartbroken and distressed when I saw the article reporting that it was sexual harassment. What I'd like to say to you all is there was no sexual harassment or harassment at all, and that is not true. I was really looking forward to the upcoming Milan Olympics, but right now it just feels like my whole world has fallen apart, so I feel hopeless and sad. Then she starts showing text messages before, during, and after the incident, which she's getting a lot of heat for even showing these messages because netizens are saying yet another trauma to athlete C added to the list because he didn't consent to the activity inside the dorm room and now he doesn't consent to you exposing intimate text messages. But she's trying to focus on the fact that after leaving the room, Athlete C texts her, no one saw the kiss today, right? I couldn't help it. So it's kind of insinuating that they kiss later on. And she texts, I thought you were hugging me. But then suddenly there was a kiss. Allegedly, if these text messages are real, she's insinuating that Athlete C, the minor, kissed her. He writes, just need to make sure not to get caught. Want to meet again tonight? Haha, I was wrong about the hickey and it's only right that I take responsibility. So we don't know really what he's referring to. So then Hayne responds, I'm sorry, even if you asked me, I shouldn't have done it. I'm the adult here. I wasn't thinking clearly. This part is like, girls, so you know that you're the adult in the relationship. This is where the public opinion splits once more. You have people getting angrier after the release of the messages, angrier at Hayne, and then others that are now getting a little bit more confused on what to think. I will say a lot of the conversations are about keeping their relationship private, which some people think, which makes sense because they're Olympians and their parents made them break up previously when they were both dating as minors. Other people think it doesn't sit right with them considering one is an adult and one is a minor and they're talking about keeping it on the DL, don't let anybody know, which is giving grooming, is what a lot of netizens have also stated. Now, C texts her, if anyone asks if we're dating, tell them we're not.
It's definitely will be seen as grooming. Yes, I hate to be that person, but if flip it the other way around, it was a younger guy and it was a girl, that guy would have been in jail already, even if they were dating previously. Harsher punishments for sure. But I guess that's just the double standards. But yeah, call it what it is, grooming, if you want.
Hayne responds, huh? But you're mine forever. C responds, I know. How do you feel about us dating again? Hayne responds, I love it. It feels like everything is falling into place again. Hee hee. Later, she talks about, hee hee, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna faint because you're calling me honey again after such a long time. C responds, oh, haha, honey, seriously, I almost cried. Hayne responds, why? Why, did I say something wrong? He responds, no, haha, it's been a really long time since I've heard you call me honey, so I feel like I've gone back in time and I like it. Hayne responds, oh my God, you scared me. I thought I said something wrong. You will always be my hubby. Don't go anywhere. Then he texts, all right, as long as you don't go anywhere either, wifey. When these text messages were posted, people had very mixed reactions. Some said, where is her lawyer? Yikes, what a mess, self-sabotage, honestly. Others said, I know she wants to defend herself, but not like this. Some people said, even with my beginner level Korean, I can see how deeply inappropriate these messages are. In Korean, there's a strict hierarchy with age that transfers to the grammar that people use with each other. So these messages are all written with very casual grammar, which shows a deep and deeply inappropriate connection with each other. She uses very childish language with him, like hey and I like and why. And she also calls him things like prince and honey and baby, like very cutesy. Why would she willingly share these messages online? Good Lord. Others said, honestly, they both sound 10 at most. Like, I can't stop cringing from this secondhand embarrassment. I couldn't find a screenshot of other text messages, but according to a lot of sources, Hayne is claiming that this is her relationship with C and how even the day she was suspended, they shared more messages where they allegedly read, and Hayne is messaging him. I'm so confused right now. That kiss mark, you didn't ask me to do it? ? I said not, but you kept insisting it was okay, right? So she's saying you're the one that asked for it. And even this is causing a lot of problems right now. So some netizens feel like, I mean, wouldn't you do the same thing if you felt like you're innocent? Other netizens are saying, bro, like, leave him alone. He already made a statement through his agency that he's traumatized by you. You've went and released personal messages, and now you're like texting him. It's just too much. Like, leave the poor kid alone. He says, before that, can I ask you one thing? You're not going to betray me, right? She responds, do you want this incident to end as sexual harassment? No, ... With the articles out like that, do you still care about me even? If you believe in me and you don't betray me, I won't leave. She responds, I won't betray you. I just want to correct that it wasn't sexual harassment. He says, then protest again and let me know if there's anything I can help with. Like basically protest to the Federation and ask for a retrial. She texts, thanks. And he responds, thank you, really, for believing in me. I'll make sure your faith in me isn't wasted. I'll get revenge and make you happy. She responds, receiving so much love from you makes me feel happy. I'm always really thankful too. When others speak ill, I will be the one to confidently deny it. She responds, I was so happy and touched because you told me I'm the best girlfriend ever and there's no one like me. I hope that on Thursday, both of us can just get with a warning. She's like, I hope both of us will just get a warning, because I guess she's talking to the Federation. And then she asks, when you were giving your statement to the Fair Commission, did you ever say that you were shocked and ran out of the room after the hickey? He responds, no question mark. I never said that. I never mentioned running out shocked. I just said I left. You said you left and didn't mention that we just hung out afterwards? So she's like, you said you left, but you didn't mention that we hung out again that morning? Like we made plans to hang out again? And he responds, yeah, everyone told me to say that. What? She responds, so that's why this happened to me, ... He responds, ... sorry, ... Hain responds, I was trying to protect you to the very end, ... I didn't think of it at that way that time, ... I didn't know it would go wrong. These are the alleged conversations between the two. But one thing to note, it seems like he was 15 at the time. The age of consent in South Korea is 16. Now, it seems like Hain knows this, but is trying to get some leniency. Hain is officially requesting a retrial from the KSU, stating that had they known about her previous relationship with him and these text messages, they would have not labeled her a sexual harasser. She's arguing that she wants to take responsibility for all the other mistakes. She says her mistakes were getting drunk and dating while training. But now she's being labeled as a sexual assaulter, and some people have even labeled her a pedophile. She says she knows that she will never be a figure skater ever again, like a good one, but she just doesn't want to live the rest of her life with this label on her. So one of the main parts about the debate is that the legal age for an adult in South Korea is 19 years old. She turned 19 a month before the trip, which there's 3 reactions to that. One, just taking the nuance of the case, because she just turned 19, and in Korea, this is nuance, right? In Korea, 19 is the formal age of an adult. It's not 18 like America.
18 is a minor in Korea?
Yes.
Wow.
So she just turned 19 a month before the trip, and they had dated previously when both of them were minors. So what people are saying, the Korean netizens primarily are on this side, where they're like, I think that she should get in a little bit of trouble, but maybe not career-ruining trouble. She just turned of legal age, and they dated when they were both minors. So it's not like they just met when she's an adult and he's a minor. They have that previous relationship, and when they made that relationship public, the public didn't care. So why do we suddenly care now that she's 1 month as an adult, is what they're arguing. If you were upset, you should have been upset a year ago too. Because what if they never broke up? Would we suddenly turn on her now? So if they kept dating all the way through, like, does that make a difference is kind of what they're saying. I don't know if that's the part that's tricky. I will say the part that's tricky is that he stated he was uncomfortable with the hickey. You could literally do something to someone and still be dating. I think that's the part that's more important, more so than like the dating, not dating. Did they break up? Are they not together? Are they together at the time of the camp?
Yeah.
I feel like that has nothing to do with if a victim says they're uncomfortable. After she released these text messages, his agency came out to state, because Hain is attempting to collect evidence through the victim, he has gained mental distress from this situation, so much so that he is requiring psychological treatment. So it's getting even stickier. You see one side where people are saying, look at the text messages. Like, it clearly looks like not the story that we were told from the very beginning, that she's just straight up a sexual harasser, like all these other things have happened. Now, the other side is saying, he could just be responding like that because he's uncomfortable. I mean, what do you expect him to text? If someone who abused me texted me, I don't think I would have the balls to be like, actually, I was very I feel like I would just be so scared. 2, these group of people believe, sure, it changes the story a little bit, maybe a little bit in favor of Hain, but she still deserves punishment, but maybe not 3 years. Because if she can't go to the 2026 Olympics, I mean, a lot of people project that her career is basically over. And then also they're saying, even if she goes to the Olympics with this scandal, it's going to be hard for her to get brand endorsements, to be treated like a serious, it's just so much scandal around her whole career. Then you have a third group of people that say, this doesn't change anything. The law is this: adult, minor, adult, minor. It doesn't matter if you're only, freshly an adult. They're saying she needs to take the 3 years punishment, and if she has no career after that, then that's a reflection of her own actions. So after all of this news comes out, now there's 4 divisive groups, and they're like going at it in the comments with each other. It's terrifying, okay? Group 1 of people, they say, this is messed up and gross. Like, we have been hating on her from the minute that it came out. And then now she's releasing text messages. She's going out of her way to text the victim more to be like, that's not true, right? It's just like, you're becoming an ultimate villain. Then you have a second group of people. They went from wanting her to be
Royale Tiger Towel Paper Towel. The one that's Tiger Strong.
Super Prof helped Freddie Fine Pete get back into guitar. The result? 0 wrong notes. These two are in perfect harmony. Find the perfect teacher on Super Prof. Choose from millions of tutors worldwide, rated by students for online or face-to-face lessons. Find your Super Prof on superprof.com.
basically die, to now feeling very confused. And honestly, they're blaming the Federation for the investigation and how they handled it, basically stating the Federation is the one that made it even harder for C by publicizing it in this way and making it so easy for netizens to track who is who, to the point where Hain felt like she needed to come out first. Because it's better if she says something versus everybody is like, okay, we finally found out who it is. One netizen writes, I gave KSU credit for the investigation at the beginning, thinking it was about a very serious form of sexual molestation. But knowing what we know now, it just seems very irresponsible to me that they publicized anything about this incident. Before you downvote me, I'm not trying to excuse Hain's behavior. Someone who doesn't even know what a hickey is cannot consent to it, period. But it's also the initial reports, they made it sound like rape. And they're saying, but it's not rape. I understand that she wants to defend herself because everyone's minds jump to that very serious place, but posting those very private messages is wrong on so many levels, and it just revealed that he couldn't actually consent to what she did. Nevertheless, we've got a media frenzy and 2 lives in shambles now over a hickey. I understand that it can be traumatizing for someone at Athlete C's age. It's very clear that Athlete C is the victim here, and I hope he has the support he needs. But Hain also deserves some protection. She made a harmful decision and should face consequences for it, but she doesn't deserve to be crucified publicly and to be treated like a sexual predator and or abuser. She is just freshly aged out adult who thought she was fooling around with her underage boyfriend, who she was in a previous relationship with when they were both minors, and she apparently didn't realize that she's crossing a very clear boundary and causing harm to the victim. Of course, the victim's mental health takes priority in this situation, but the Federation should also have considered Hain's mental well-being. Self-exit is prevalent in Korean society, especially amongst young people, and I can imagine that the way that all of this is playing out in the moment is nothing short of catastrophic in the minds of a 15 and 19-year-old. Which I don't know if we agree with anything in that statement, but the self-exit part is very accurate. Yeah. Now, the third camp of people, and I would say like most Korean netizens fit into this category, interestingly, they think it's just messy. They feel like Hain isn't a victim. She made a mistake. She needs to learn from it. But this is her whole life and career that's getting tanked. And they also believe that her career should not end for this. A lot of Korean netizens, they use the word 불쌍해 for her, which is feel pity for her. Another reads, she turned 19 a month before the camp and Skater C is 15. So it's presumed that they have like a 3.5-year age gap. Obviously not great, but is this grounds for a 3-year ban? I think that's pretty harsh if it turns out that it was a consensual relationship. They obviously think Athlete C is clearly the victim, but it's messy. With the text messages before the investigation, it seems like the hickey was consensual. The age thing is tricky because they dated as minors. So it seems like it should be handled by victim C's parents, like how they want to proceed with it almost. Koreans are saying he is the victim, but it also feels like maybe the harshness of the punishment has to do with his parents getting involved, is the speculation and theory. So the fact that he, quote, allegedly stated a different story in front of the Federation, some people believe that his parents told him to say these things so that he would not get disciplinary action, so that his career wouldn't get stumbled. The majority of K netizens that I've found so far is their main focus on is he never said he was uncomfortable, nor did he report it until he was being investigated for sneaking into the girls' dorm. So that's where people have the problem with, which is I don't know if I can agree with that statement because a lot of people don't report because they're scared, right? Yeah. And they're still on this trip. So it's tricky. One comment reads, it's not that simple. She asked him if it was okay and he said yes. Then afterwards he felt uncomfortable, most likely because he was afraid of getting caught. She even acknowledged that it was her fault and he made it clear he wanted to stay in a relationship but just not see each other during camp anymore. He didn't report her. The details came out during the investigation. You know, with parents of Olympians or training to be Olympians, they're not going to do anything to fumble their kid's career. And his parents are his coaches. So they wonder if his parents might have maybe pushed the narrative a little bit more, that he was really scared so that he would get off with no punishment. But again, I don't know if this is true. He could have genuinely just been so scared for his life, like truly. Right. So this is just what a lot of Korean netizens think, theorize, speculate. Age gap relationships, they're more common in Korea. Okay, that became a whole thing. There is some context.
So this is less sensitive in Korea with the age gap than in America.
A lot of Americans and foreign netizens are like, that doesn't excuse anything. Because like the law is the law. Now, a lot of international netizens, they also ask K netizens if the genders were reversed, if the roles were reversed, would they be saying that? Now, some K netizens are also saying that. If athlete C was a minor girl in this situation, would athlete A just need to learn and reflect from this and not have her whole career ruined? Because it's giving, let's not ruin the boys' lives over this. That's what it's giving, right? Which a lot of Korean netizens sparked.
Wait a second. She totally flipped that. I'm thinking if the boy was the older one, would we still have the same reaction? Well, would they still have the same reaction?
Even more angry backlash because they said, yes, that's exactly what would happen. Because they're basically saying if it were a guy, he probably would have gotten off. Like, they don't know if it would have even become a big publicized deal because there's so much reports of sexual assault and sexual harassment in the Olympics teams targeted towards women that never get publicized until way later. Again, two wrongs don't make a right, but it just started discourse. So I'm telling you the discourse that happened. Now, a lot of people in South Korea were really upset about this argument because, they're like, pretty much that is what would happen. And then there are some K netizens who are actually against the victim, who are against athlete C. And they write, I think the male player is blaming Hain for sexual harassment in order to avoid disciplinary action for entering the woman's room. Is it right to bury a female player like that and get away with it while they were dating? I think the parents intervened and made it happen, but the federation also did not properly understand the facts and accused her of sexual harassment. And they're just sending out press releases like that. This whole thing is absurd. That's what some people are saying. Then you have the fourth camp of people who hate her more now. Some comments read, what I find fishy is that Hain Lee is saying that they were dating, so there wasn't sexual assault or harassment. But just because you're dating someone doesn't mean you automatically cannot essay them. Others are saying, girl, why the fork are you dating a minor when you're 19? Like, so unbelievably disappointing. So this group, the whole argument is, she's making it so messy. She's making it about dating or not dating. But at the end of the day, you're denying the principal points of he said he was uncomfortable. He said he didn't like it. He's a minor and you're not. Like, nothing you say is excusing those things. Another comment, absolutely vile, what she's doing. I hope she gets the maximum consequences and athlete C gets the healing he needs. Some people write, after reading this, Hain should be ashamed of herself, and I think suspension should be enforced. You can clearly tell the power imbalance in the relationship from this statement. I hope he's doing okay and he has his family around him to support him. Heavy emphasis on the age of the victim. No one, especially a 15-year-old, should go through this. Another comment reads, A seems to be really chasing and pressuring the minor, C, into a relationship, and C seems ambivalent, which makes sense considering that if they really were mutually in an ongoing relationship with each other, C would have spoken out immediately to defend A, but they didn't. A spoke out first. But then some people are saying that's maybe not possible for C to speak out because his parents are likely involved. Like, at the end of the day, he's still a minor. Another comment is, the most important viewpoint in sexual harassment cases is not that of the perpetrator, but the victim. So I think that is important. As well as, quote, if the kid didn't even know what a hickey was, he was not old enough, period. Why are people defending this? He is a victim. Another comment reads, my heart goes out to him and I'm sad and angry that this controversy has played out in the worst way possible. He shouldn't have to defend or explain himself. This is on the Federation for publishing too much information about this incident in their initial press release and allowing fans to identify the victim, and on Hain for further violating his privacy in her pathetic public statements. Another one reads, I'm sending all my love to skater C. This will be difficult for him, but hopefully the right actions are taken to protect him and
Breaking news and a surprise contender in the marathon.
savor the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Issue consequences to those who have done wrong. And hopefully someone tells Hayne to stop talking, LMAO, because she's not doing herself any favors right now. Another comment takes on an even darker tone, which, if that's even possible here, but they write, I would be worried for her. People from all over the world are wishing her dead and calling her a rapist, abuser, pedophile for giving her boyfriend at the time a hickey. If people called me a pedophile for being in what amounts to essentially a high school senior freshman relationship, I would definitely self-exit. Which is like a very aggressive statement, but I will say, I mean, I do have to agree that cyberbullying does get crazy. And ultimately, the coaches have been criticized for their severe lack of management during the trip. How could they take minors on the trip and let this happen? One coach received a 3-month suspension for it. So as of right now, Hayne Lee's request to be retried has been denied. She is still suspended for 3 years, and it seems like she and her family are planning on suing the KSU Federation, stating that while she accepts full punishment for what she did wrong, the drinking and dating, she does not want to be labeled as a sexual abuser. She has competed in the world since then, but she's having what announcers have called a, quote, subpar season. What are your thoughts on this case? It's so messy. And again, I am just reiterating what I saw online. I am not trying to sway you. I personally don't have an opinion. Also, being like Korean American, reading Korean comments and then reading the American comments, it's like, it's so confusing because everybody seems so dead set in the way that they believe it is. Like, I feel like you could not convince the other party of one thing or the other. Like, just the way that they're fighting it out in the comments, it's like, I can clearly see the different cultural aspects coming into play in their arguments, and I don't see how they would convince each other. So what are your thoughts? I'm just reiterating what I've seen online. I'm not making a statement, but I hope you guys stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. This is one of the creepier concerts that I've ever seen placed on YouTube. It's not scary until you really think about it. It's just kind of creepy. There's a 1,500 seat theater that is packed to the brim with people. They're wearing their nicest and most formal outfits. It looks like they're watching the theater, the orchestra, a symphony. Men in black suits, ties. Women are in just full-length dresses, gowns. Not a single hair is out of place on any of them, and they're all back straight, staring, deadpan, blank face, dead eyes, staring at the stage in front of them. You would think that they are watching paint dry with their reactions. And there's this huge screen. Fruit is flying across the screen. Are you opening a snack very quietly right now? You think that I cannot hear you very quietly opening your snack? No, this concert, they have this giant screen, a flat screen in the front, and it's just fruit flying around. It reminds me of those baby sensory videos that Sophie used to watch. You know, the ones where the blueberries, the corn, they have cute little blushing faces and they float around to upbeat music? It's like Fruit Ninja, but for babies. That's what it looks like. That's what the screen is giving. And in front of that screen, you see 4 girly pops in what looks like corporate America office attire. They are not dressed like office sirens, but they genuinely look like they work at the corporate headquarters of Home Depot. They're beautiful, but their outfits are not giving performance. They're giving modest. They're giving, ooh, we're a little scared. You could wear this in front of your boss, your corporate boss. These are the types of outfits you would wear for an expensive presentation. I know someone's gonna comment like, no, bitch, please get a job. We can't wear those in the corporate office. Have you seen those TikToks? There's TikToks of people who have clearly never had a job. Okay, I'm not making fun of them, myself included. I have had jobs, okay? I've had retail jobs, not corporate jobs. But they're like, inspo for your corporate office outfit, and like half their ass cheek is hanging out. And all the comments are like, please get a real job. Thank you. So, yeah, no, I get it. It's not exactly office attire, but You get what I'm saying? It's not giving sexy office siren giving a performance. It's not giving concert. It's just a little bit interesting. The comments read, their outfits look like they're ready to defend their thesis. but these girly pops are not out here getting their PhDs. No, they're singing and dancing. They are giving their all to this performance, even though the crowd is not. The crowd is not giving back the same energy. They're dancing like their lives depend on this shit. Because one netizen comments, their lives actually depend on this shit. The girlies on stage are not just any performers. They are one of the biggest K-pop groups of all time, Red Velvet. And they're not just performing on any stage. They're performing in Pyongyang in front of the one, the only supreme leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un.
Now, how did this happen?
Now, I am feeling a little sentimental for this one, a little emotional, because it just goes to show that everybody needs a friend. Whether you're a politician or just a girl, whether you're new money or old money, whether you have healthcare or not, I don't. Okay, everybody needs a friend. I'm just thinking maybe, just maybe, the real friends were the Raycons that you found along the way. Because who needs best friends when you have Raycons? Why am I telling you about Raycons right now in the middle of this very serious, intense video? I'll tell you why. Raycons just got a major update. They upgraded from being my best friend to being my bestie. That's premium friendship status with premium audio quality for only half the price. The new Raycon model is better at literally everything. They improved the old features, added new features, even the casing. Look at the casing. It's so sleek, so unique. They have colors that complement every skin tone. You can choose from 4 unique colors. The earbuds themselves have an improved ergonomic design. They don't hurt my tiny holes. They're really tiny and tight, by the way.
Can confirm.
Even after hours of use, they have a new feature with multi-point connectivity, which means you can pair your Raycons to 2 devices at once. I do it all the time. I pair them with my iPad and my phone at the same time. Catch me watching Netflix on my iPad while scrolling TikTok on my phone. That's what you call a low attention span. That's genuinely what you call not wanting to face the silence in your own head and your own demons and have negative self-talk. Sometimes I just want my peace. That's where the noise cancellation comes in. The old Raycons had noise isolation, which I love, by the way, but the new Raycons, this feels like free therapy. I just pop them in. I watch my little K-drama daddy in peace. I just watch videos of my husband. Just kidding. And to top it all off, the new Raycons also have a quick charge function. If you're just ever getting ready for a walk or a drive, you suddenly realize you forgot to charge your Raycons, no problem. With the quick charge function, you can get 90 minutes of playtime after charging them for only 10 minutes. 10 minutes, you're out the door. Raycons are also waterproof and sweat resistant. The new model is also dust proof, which honestly, I feel like that's a feature. Girlies, now is the time to check out Raycons. You need to upgrade your earbuds from friend level to bestie level. Now is the perfect time because you can use my code to get a discount on the already affordable prices. Click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/bis to get 15% off your Raycon purchase plus free shipping. That's buyraycon.com/BISS for 15% off your Raycon purchase plus free shipping. Thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring today's video. And let me tell you about Kim Jong-un and his friends, his best friends. I'm definitely on a watch list. I know for a fact. When I first saw this video of Red Velvet performing, the whole situation is giving the vibes of Kim's father, Kim Jong-il, when he kidnapped a whole actress to film a movie. And also the girl group Red Velvet has 5 members, but only 4 of them are performing on stage. The 5th member, Joy, is nowhere to be seen. Is Joy okay? Has anybody checked up on Joy? With the other girls, they continue on like this was always the plan. This was part of the plan. They're performing 2 of their top songs, Red Flavor and Bad Boy. Now, I did look up their usual performance of the songs to fully get the vibes. Red Flavor is this super happy, it's a bop, by the way. It's an upbeat song, and the visual is giving that. The girls are always dressed in these bright colors, orange, yellow, greens, in crop tops, mini skirts. They're heavily accessorized with dangly earrings and headbands. And after comparing the videos closely, I can honestly say Red Velvet looks like they're giving their all on the stage. They're working all their steps. They're hitting all their notes. If there is a place to slack in their performance, North Korea is not one of those places. Because if they fork up just one time, I don't know what would happen to them. I don't know. And while the girls are shimmying on stage, whenever the camera, you know how the cameras love to pan to the audience and they're always screaming like, ah! You see some of the super ones like VIP section crying. I would cry if I was watching Red Velvet. I would literally cry. But you see all of them stone cold faces.
Are they bopping their head?
No.
No bopping?
No bopping. Nothing. Just staring. They're not trying to risk their lives.
How many people's in the audience?
1,500. Not a single one is clapping. Not a single one is humming. Not a single one is bopping because they can't risk their lives like that. If they've heard this song before, no, they haven't. Because South Korean music is banned in North Korea. So, you know this song? No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. Don't you even whisper the lyrics in your head.
Who are these girls? Don't know them.
Who are these girls, truly? And them and their families could be sent to a labor camp if they even look like they know the rhythm of the song. They should act like this is a weird beat. I've never heard beats like this, but I wouldn't even know how to move to this. This is my first time. One comment on the video reads, "This is the reaction me and my cousins get when we perform our self-choreographed K-pop dances for our grandparents at the family reunion." which is bringing me back a lot of memories. But also, did your parents make you perform? I was free entertainment at parties. Okay, another reads, Red Velvet is singing
crazy.
Bet You Want to Dance Like This, and the audience is stunned into silence. Now, I did notice that there is one girl in the audience, and she's smiling. She's not bopping her head, but she's smiling.
She the only one?
Yeah, do you think she's okay? Is what we want to know. No, people in the comments are genuinely concerned for her. But maybe she's important, right? She's got to be important. If she's got a close up on the camera and everything, I feel like she's got to be somebody important. And from a different angle, you see what the girls are seeing in the audience. Just pitch blackness with no light sticks, no movements, not a single smile in sight. It's basically a black ocean, but not because they suck or that these are anti-fans. They're literally just everybody's terrified for their lives right now. Both sides.
What about Kim Jong-un?
Oh, it seems like he's having a good time. There's not many close-ups of him at all. But apparently, allegedly, he a fan of Red Velvet. We're gonna get there, okay? But which side note, I did see a TikTok recently talking about concerts in Japan. And I heard a lot of artists, even K-pop artists, but American artists, they said they're always startled when they go to Japan because the entire stadium will be packed and nobody is screaming unless it's appropriate. So you feel like they fucking hate you, but that's actually how they show respect because they want to hear your vocals. There's no singing or screaming. Everybody sits down and enjoys the show. I would cry, which is completely different here in the US. I feel like we're crying, throwing up because we're so excited to be there. Like it's essentially a mini party for everyone. I would say South Korea is somewhere in the middle. So that's what Red Velvet is used to. And I'm sure they've had international tours. And now nobody's moving, nobody's clapping, nobody's doing this, side to side swaying, nothing. One comment reads, Coachella this, Coachella that. How many people can say their faves performed in North Korea on the world's scariest stage with not a single fan present? So when Red Velvet...
I thought Kim Jong-un was a fan.
Okay, because listen, when Red Velvet finishes their first song, the crowd remains silent. Okay, they clap a little. Just kidding, okay? They do clap a little. And the girls take a moment to say hi to the crowd. And the four girls are standing in a line on stage. And Irene, I love Irene, she picks up her microphone and she speaks to the people of North Korea. And it feels like I don't know how she handled this so well, but she could barely breathe. Because she just danced her heart out and she sang live vocals. And she says, "It's an honor to see Red Velvet at the Pyongyang concert. First of all, you may all be unfamiliar with the charm of Red Velvet. Red of Red Velvet is a combination of intense red, and velvet of Red Velvet is a combination of softness. It means that Red Velvet will show you a variety of songs and dances." Sorry, I'm out of breath. Just one moment, please. And the crowd starts clapping really loudly.
오늘 감사합니다.
This is the only time the crowd reacts to the girl group is when Irene is out of breath and trying to catch her breath. I don't know if it's because they find Irene cute, but one of the netizens comments, "Red Velvet dances like queens." Audience, that's all right. Irene breathes. Audience, wow. She's so cute. And they just start clapping. And
Maybe
some
they
people...
are like, it's relatable. They're like, oh, you're out of breath?
Same. I can't breathe either. No, some people say that Kim Jong-un allegedly might have started the clapping. and you only clap when the supreme leader be clapping. And allegedly, Irene is his bias. So Irene catches her breath and continues with her speech. Today, thank you. Starting with this stage today, I hope I have more opportunities to meet with you, and it's an honor to be able to stand on this stage and sing our songs. There are more wonderful performances waiting for you after this. I hope you guys have a good time today, and thank you. And they bow. Now, just by the applause from that speech alone, I do feel like she is Kim Jong-un's bias, because everyone says he's supposedly a huge, huge fan of Red Velvet.
Wait, for North Korea, the Korean language dialogue, is it like a different accent or is it almost the same? Do you know that?
I think there's a different accent, and I think some words are different. But I don't think it's so different where you cannot understand, from what I know. Actually, a lot of people I know, their families were technically geographically in North Korea before the war broke out. So it doesn't seem like there's that big of a difference in the dialect.
Right, so just a couple generations ago, right?
Yeah. Now, some people said Kim Jong-un is an ajashi fan. Oh, yeah. And someone commented that, "Those are not my words, Supreme Leader. Please don't come for me." But ajashi fans are kind of controversial. They're basically middle-aged men who stan K-pop idols. But sometimes it's controversial because it's kind of gross, you know? Like, for one, these uncle fans are getting older, and the K-pop girlies are only getting younger. Some are just pervy, and they count the minutes until their biases turn 18, and they have photo cards. I love photo cards, but if I'm a 50-year-old man, I don't think I should be having a photo card. Some netizens say that uncle fans are usually rich and have dreams of becoming sugar daddies for these K-pop idols. Most people argue that ajashi fans have underlying sexual desires for these young girls, so obviously it's skeptical, to say the least. Some people just say ajashi fans could also just have a lot of country pride these days. I don't know. But some, they just be proudly repping that ajashi fan title. They just love K-pop and they just be vibing. And I'm sure the Supreme Leader is doing that, right? I mean, I could see him in a crowd with a light stick, singing their fan chant. Like, born to be a girly pop, forced to be a dictator. Allegedly a dictator. Ooh. Okay, there's no clips of him in the video, obviously. But I just know Kim Jong-un is enjoying this performance. Afterwards, there is a photo that they take, and Kim Jong-un is in the center. His wife is on the left of him. 3 members of Red Velvet, the other 3 members, Yeri, Wendy, and Sugi, they're on the far left end, about 3 people away from the Supreme Leader. So there's like 3 people in between them and the Supreme Leader. But Irene is not standing next to the rest of her girl group. Instead, she's standing at the center of the photo, holding a bouquet of white lilies, standing on the other side of Kim Jong-un. But of course, she's smiling for her life because, you know, her life depends on it, but she's trying to lean as far away from Kim Jong-un as possible. Her body is practically bent at a 90-degree angle to one side. She's like, okay, that's what she is doing. Kim just looks dead at the camera. It seems like Irene is his bias. Later, she does come out in an interview to clarify everything. And she says, no, I didn't even know a picture was being taken. It just happened so suddenly. And I was talking to some people on the other side of me, and he just happened to be there. I didn't even know I was standing next to him. Yeah, which I kind of agree with. However, I think he tried to stand next to her is my suspicion, you know? He's like, let me just waddle over there. Hurry, take a picture of me and my bias. You know what I mean? That's the vibe it's giving. Everyone is commenting. Doesn't look like there'll be any more war as long as Irene is here in South Korea. Oh my gosh. Another says, will we all be reunified thanks to Irene? These are some dark jokes, y'all. But many netizens would say, wow, I can't believe Irene just broke Kim Jong-un's heart like that, confirming she didn't even know she was standing next to him. Yeah, most netizens were just very grateful that Red Velvet was not kidnapped by Kim Jong-un. So I don't know. The bar seems very low for this one. I will say that Kim's stance on K-pop has seemed to change around the same time as this concert. So before this, Kim even had a North Korean girl group called Moranbong Band. I don't know what that means. They wore miniskirts. They performed using electric violins, cellos, and drums. I will say they're a little bit older, and they wear very sparkly dresses. If I had to pinpoint exactly the vibe that this K-pop group gives me, or the North Korean group gives me, it's when your aunties perform at a Chinese wedding.
What?
It's the vibe. They're so good at singing, though.
My aunt?
No, the group. The lyrics, though, they go wild. They're really hardcore lyrics. Are you ready? Let's study for our country. Let's study for our future. We will make our land shine. Yeah. Comments read, meanwhile in South Korea,
You got me feeling like a psycho.
and then North Korea, let's study for our country. Ooh, yeah. Me,
I like K-pop.
my parents, look at this cool K-pop song. No, okay? South Korea,
Let's kill this love.
North Korea, let's study. Let's honestly, it's a bop. But in 2021 they were literally wiped from North Korean TV, so I don't know what happened. It might have been too crazy. The concepts, the lyrics might have been a little too salacious, sexual or something, okay? Shortly afterwards, Kim makes an announcement saying they are fighting a war on the spread of South Korean entertainment, even declaring a law that anyone found watching or possessing South Korean entertainment will be sentenced to 15 years in labor camps. Yeah. Now back to the photo. Everyone else in it, they're all South Koreans. He's taking a photo with a bunch of South Koreans. Red Velvet is not the only South Korean artist there. They came with like 9 other artists. All of them were sent by South Korea. South Korea sent some of their biggest artists to North Korea. Why? Because of the 2018 Winter Olympics. The ones that South Korea hosted. North and South Korea were pretty much trying to get friendly for this Olympics because North Korea, they forgot to enroll 2 of their hockey players into the Olympics. South Korea decides, you know what? Here's a crazy idea. What if they just join our team? What if they just join our team and just we play together?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They agreed?
They agreed. The 2 countries walked in the opening ceremony under the Korean unification flag.
Oh, wow.
Just like that. World peace. Not at all. Not at all. But you get what I'm saying. No, but I do think that both sides were trying to work their way towards peace. And it's such a big step for both countries that show their trust, you know. And the performers were there to show their appreciation. North Korean sent their Samjian Orchestra to perform at the Olympics. As like a thank you for sending their orchestra, South Korea decides to send like 10 of their artists to perform in Pyongyang. It was crazy. They were there for 2 days, April 1st to April 3rd, making it the first South Korean musical performance in North Korea since 2005. The lineup is crazy, by the way. I mean, these are huge names. All of these artists, they represent South Korea's musical culture, but people just had so many questions. Like, why was Red Velvet specifically chosen to go to North Korea? It's actually unknown why any of these artists were specifically chosen. It's not even revealed why Red Velvet was chosen out of all the girl groups. This is not someone being like, why Red Velvet? It should have been somebody else. They're just wondering, it feels random. That's why people came up with the conclusion that Kim Jong-un must be a fan.
More than why, I'm curious, like, did they have an option to
say no?
Like, is it like a volunteer system or is it a mandatory system? You know what I mean?
I don't think it was voluntarily done because a representative from South Korea was apparently in charge of preparing the performance, and he said, what I thought at the time was that a girl group representing South Korea should perform in Pyongyang, show something new, and show that we are good at this. Red Velvet was the only group that I knew the name of, and the band name is Red Velvet, and the song they sing was also Red Flavor, so that left an impression on me. So I said to the person preparing to recruit, I really want to cast Red Velvet. Please look into that. Essentially, Red Velvet is only sent to North Korea because an Ajashi fan wanted them to represent the nation. That's it. Someone in the government chose Kim Jong-un. Or no. Someone in the government chose Red Velvet.
Someone chose Kim Jong-un to perform.
There's no special reason behind it. It's like South Korea sent these artists to North Korea on vibes and vibes alone. So only 4 of the Red Velvet members are sent to North Korea. Like, I can't even imagine what that phone call was like, though. 여보세요? I have a lifetime opportunity for you. Yes, just one life. I mean, once in a lifetime opportunity. Yes or...
Yes.
The reason why the 5th member of Red Velvet, Joy, is not sent with them is because she had scheduling conflicts. But that doesn't stop the netizens from commenting, you can find absolutely no joy in that performance, in that room. But at the end of the concert, all the South Korean artists come together on stage. They stand in a line of 17 people and they start a group performance. One final song. And this is the one and only time during the entire concert that the crowd of North Koreans actually have a reaction. They're clapping with the beat. They're swaying their bodies. They're waving their arms in the air and they're singing along to the song titled The Reunification of Korea. That's the song's name. And at the very end of the song, they all stand up with their arms in the air, clapping and cheering for the reunification of Korea. Comments read, their clapping is so synchronized. That's a beautiful moment. I'm literally tearing up right now. Yeah, but I guess Kim Jong-un's K-pop era did not last that long because North Korea is now sending balloons full of shit to South Korea, so not on friendly terms anymore, are we? But before he had his eyes set on the girlies, he actually had his eyes set on something or someone else. Because before this happened to Red Velvet, we're actually going to go back to 2012, where, you ever been to Vienna? Same. I've never been. I want to go. But there is this local by the name of Drow. He's a local chef in Vienna, and he is getting bombarded every single day. He's not a famous chef. He's just a random chef, okay? He's just a Portuguese chef that now works in Vienna at a restaurant. I mean, it's not like he owns the restaurant. It's not like he has a celebrity chef name. The closest he came to fame was working at a Michelin star restaurant. He's not Gordon Ramsay. He doesn't even really want to be. He's just looking to cook and not be disrupted by all these people. But randomly, these Asian people would come in. He doesn't know, okay? They're just Asian. They come in, they sit down, they order a meal, and they keep trying to talk to him. And they'll eat through their meal, stay, and just sit at the table. A group of Asian men just almost watching him, staring at him. And he's like, what is going on right now? I'm sick and tired of what's happening. Like, let me just do my job. So he's trying to leave. He's trying to close up the restaurant. And now the men are nowhere in sight. They're gone. That was weird, but they're gone. Next day, lunch rush. They're all sitting in the restaurant again. And at this point, he just wants them to be gone. He walks over to the table and he's like, can I help you? Like, what are you doing here? And they tell him, we were sent here for you, to get you. What do you mean? For me, the man, the myth, the legend, Kim Jong-un wants to see you.
Damn.
We come on behalf of the leader of North Korea. He is inviting you to dinner tomorrow at Pyongyang in North Korea. Zhao is like, what are you talking about? He tells the three men the same thing most of us would say. I have work tomorrow. What do you mean? Like, I can't just pack up my bags and fly 10 hours to see the supreme leader of North Korea. Are you kidding? That guy in a portable toilet. Huh? Let me...
What?
Okay, there is a conspiracy that anytime Kim Jong-un leaves North Korea, he shits in a portable toilet because he doesn't want the CIA officials or whatever intelligence agencies in the countries he's in to collect his poop. Because through poop, you can get a lot of stuff like DNA, potential diseases, health conditions. So he shits in a portable toilet and has his staff get rid of his shit. So... he's like, I don't want to go fly 10 hours to see a man who shits in a portable toilet, okay? A man who bans jeans because they're the epitome of Western ideology. A man who only allows 10 hairstyles for men. Did you know that? Here are your you go to a barber shop in North Korea, there's 10 pictures. You pick one. It's giving Sims from 2001. You get 10 hairstyles, that's it. Only 28 haircuts are allowed in North Korea. 10 for men, 18 for women.
Did you see one you liked though?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I'll circle the one I like, guys. Yeah, that's the one I think I would get. Yeah, guys, leave it in the comments which number you would get. Wait, I feel like this is highly inappropriate, but I do want to know. Okay. What happens if men lose hair?
What happens if a man lose hair?
Yeah. Have you ever seen a bald North Korean before? Exactly. Bald is not an option. It's not one of the 10. Anyway, this is what Drow looks like. He doesn't have an approved haircut. His
what
side...
does he look like?
You don't see? I'm just kidding. He's got some intense sideburns. They come down almost to his mouth area. Oh, yeah. I mean, these men are persistent. They literally say, we will wait as long as necessary, but we cannot go back without you. Please, we literally cannot go back without you. So please say yes, because our lives are on the line and like we might not. My wife is actually being held hostage right now, so you need to say yes right now, please.
They said that?
No, they were just like, we're not leaving without you. Come on, chop, chop. I mean, I guess the guilt is eating him because the next day he's on a first-class flight to Beijing, China. Beijing, China is the only place you can catch a flight to North Korea at the time. So he makes a stop in Beijing. And I want to know what the vibe is on this flight. Like, are we feeling doom and gloom? Or are we feeling excited? Like last minute vacation? I don't know. I feel like it's got to be the first option, right? Because Zhao knows nothing about North Korea. Once he lands in China, he's immediately moved to a private North Korean plane chartered specifically for him. And he explains in an interview that he is distressed the entire time. He's scared of what's going to happen to him once he lands in North Korea. But the North Korean plane honestly does feel like every other plane. There's a flight attendant to ensure everyone is properly seated. It's just Zhao and the three men. And she comes up to Zhao and asks a very normal question. What would you like to drink, sir? Such a normal question. He doesn't even think twice about it. He's just like, can I get a Coke and rum? She looks at him. There is no Coke in North Korea.
She's like, what is Coke?
What is that? Zhao is panicking again because how did he not know that? What else does he not know? I mean, there could be some rules like clap your cheeks 10 times when you get off the plane in honor of the leader, and he wouldn't even fucking know. What? He wouldn't even fucking know. Then he could suddenly be sent to a camp where he would never see his family again. But when they land in Pyongyang, employees, bodyguards, captors? Question mark? You decide. They lead him out and immediately take him to the Emperor of North Korea's official residence. This place is so extravagant. This place, I mean, I've talked about it so many times, I feel like I've been there. It's got 3 different names. Its official name is Yongseong. But the second name is residence number 55. I don't know. Okay, now I don't know if this is because it's Kim's 55th house or it's like a street address or you got it for his, I don't know how old he is, for his 55th birthday. I don't know. But the third is allegedly what the Pyongyang locals call it, the Central Luxury Mansion. This house is built to withstand nuclear war. The area surrounding it has an electric fence, security checkpoints, and minefields to ward off any intruders. Imagine a poor bird landing on the grass getting blown up. It connects, allegedly, to important buildings through underground tunnels, but even comes with an underground train station. Where is that train station taking you? I don't know. Maybe to one of the other dozens of houses Kim has. But if you're looking at something to do at residence number 55, here are all the amenities. Banquet halls at the lakefront, swimming pool with a water slide, running track and athletic field, spa and sauna, shooting range, and a horse racing track. So Zhao, he walks in, he can't help but look outside as they're driving to residence number 55, and he feels dread. Most of the city is dark, there's no lights, nothing is on. When the limo stops, he's not escorted into residence number 55 through the front door. He's taken directly into a military building where he can see several military members standing on guard with weapons. He's taken into the tunnel, and at this point, I would be questioning my whole life. Like,
oh, he's underground now.
Yeah, I am just a chef. Truly. Yeah. The guards, they take him to what's supposed to be his room and they say, change in 5 minutes. Afterwards, he's checked for any weapons or explosives, which obviously he's not going to have. He changes into a formal black suit and black tie, and now he's ready to meet the supreme leader. They come and grab him, and they walk him through the tunnel into this massive banquet hall. And in the center is this long table with 7 people all staring at him. And at the end of the table, the man of the house seat is the supreme gladiator of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. He stands up staring at Zhao. This is a man who controls 26 million people's lives, okay? A man who had his uncle executed by a firing squad for being a, quote, despicable human scum. Yeah, it was a whole thing. The man that hides his own poops and allegedly had his half-brother killed. Remember that, okay? So this is him. And now all the other people at the banquet table are confused. Do we like Zhao? Do we not like Zhao? We're just nunchi buying. We're just trying to gauge Kim Jong-un's reaction. Is he getting executed right now? Is that the entertainment of the show? What's happening? Kim gets up, walks over to Zhao. He's head to head with him. He could crush him, choke him, slap him. I mean, there's so many options. He could throw his porta potty poop at him. I don't know. But Kim does none of that. He hugs Zhao. He's like, my man. This my bestie, y'all.
Wait, what's going on?
Zhao is Kim Jong-un's childhood best friend.
Wait, what? Wait, does Zhao know this?
Yes.
Oh. Wait, so he knows he's just here to see a friend?
Well, who's to say they're still friends? Who's to say anything? Zhao later said he felt such a relief after that initial meeting. Like, nothing had changed. The two of them, They met in middle school and it was just like that. I mean, just look at this photo. Zhao is on the far left side of the picture and little Kim Jong-un is in the center. When I saw this, I wanted to know, where is this from? Because it's obviously not North Korea. When I was researching this story, I fell down a rabbit hole where rich people send their kids to school, where the old money, the royal families, the sons of the nation's leaders, they go to school. The top 5 most expensive schools are all in the same country, Switzerland.
Dang.
Rich families from all over the world attend these schools. I'm talking kids from China, Pakistan, Tanzania, Japan, literally all over the world are sending their kids to Swiss boarding schools. Those families, most of them are so rich, they're unknown. Being sent to a Swiss boarding school, they cost like $200,000 a year. For schools like the School of Kings, Le Rosey or something, which is also the most expensive school in the world, students spend their time studying along Lake Geneva. They learn how to horseback ride, hunt with a gun in a shooting range, and in the winter months, they have a second campus in a ski resort.
You know, remember those kids we saw in Switzerland? Like
They look
our
so
wedding?
rich.
Oh, bro, those are the most bougie looking kids I've ever seen.
They just scream money.
Yeah.
And they're like 12.
I've never seen such old money on little kids.
Yeah. It was out of this
crazy,
world. I
yeah.
was like, can we switch lives, y'all? This is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and what the families are not getting their money's worth from the education. It's actually the alumni program that's the most sought after. It's the most exclusive secret club. These kids join the moment they get their diploma, and it's the alumni network, where alumni have to prove their credentials, give their student ID, set up a username and password, and the network contains a full directory of every alumni who's ever attended that school. And these are all kids of billionaires, likely. So you're like, oh my God, I have a new idea. How do I get it funded? Let me call up another billionaire's kid and get it funded through their daddy. But also, I'm a self-made billionaire. That's the vibe, okay? But little Kim Jong-un did not go to that school. Well, not for long. He did briefly, but not for long. Because he ends up in a regular public school in Switzerland. There's a reason that we've talked about. It's all going to come full circle. It's crazy. It's just a normal day in class, though. Zhao was 12 at the time. The teacher hasn't started class yet. Kids are all talking, and the door to the class slams open, and the first thing Zhao sees are a pair of brand new Air Jordans that cost $200. Like, this is not a private school. This is not a boarding school. This is a public school. New Jordans are a rare thing to see in this school. He's amazed. He looks up and sees this full set of a Nike tracksuit. I mean, I don't know about you. That's as American as it gets, buddy, okay?
It's giving me the PC bun boys?
Yes, the kimchi squat.
Kimchi squat outside the PC buns, chain smoking.
Yes. And he thought it was weird because everybody else is wearing jeans at the time. But the most surprising thing about this kid is not the Air Jordans. It's not the Nike tracksuit. It's not the pudding bowl haircut. It's the fact that he's Asian. He's the only Asian. I mean, the whole school, there's not a single Asian kid, really. On top of that, he's staring them down. Even though he's shorter than most of them, it feels like he's looking down at them, judging them. The teacher introduces the new kid. Guys, this is Eun Pak. He is the son of North Korean diplomats who moved here for work.
Oh, so this is his fake ID.
Fake ID, yeah. He's still learning German, so please help him with settling in. Zhao is sitting in the back right corner of the class. There's an empty seat next to him. According to Zhao, no one wanted to sit next to me because I was the Portuguese student. So, yeah, the Asian had to sit next to me. Basically. They were like the two outcasts. Yeah. But Zhao kind of hates this new kid. He's the weird kid. You know, every class has that kid. You know which one I'm talking about? The one who wants to play cats on the playground? They crawl on all 4 legs and they snarl and they hiss at you and you're like, I don't want to play this anymore. This is getting weird. Yeah, no, my weird kid in school was a nightmare. Like, I genuinely still have nightmares about this kid, but I bet he's so cool now. But he was a little scary when I was younger because I wasn't used to how cool he was. It was new to me. It was fresh. It was fresh and fun, okay?
So you weren't the weird one?
No, they pick up like roaches and stuff and they study them.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
And then you're like, whew, that's weird, but I also need to be very nice to you because I'm scared. Anyway, but Pak instantly becomes that kid for this class. On top of that, I think a lot of kids were jealous of the Air Jordans and the tracksuit. I feel like everyone at that time wanted a pair of Air Jordans because Michael Jordan was and still is a GOAT. Right? But even Zhao admits that he's annoyed by Pak. They would sit directly next to each other and they would take notes. And Kim would constantly do that thing where he would push his elbow so hard he disrupts Zhao's notebook.
Oh my god, that's so annoying.
And he's like, what is your deal, bro? Sometimes if Zhao is really annoyed, he would kick his leg to hit Pak under the table.
Zhao is kicking Kim Jong-un's leg?
I fucking bet 1,000%. If that were me, that would be my shower thought every night. I'd be like, am I still safe? I know it's been 30 years. However, do I live another day? Yeah, exactly. I would be doing the dishes, and that would be my intrusive thought. According to Zhao, the two of them are in the class for the academically weaker students because Zhao is bad at math, Pak because he doesn't know German, and they would just get angry because frustrated, they don't understand. Zhao does say that Pak is very smart. He just doesn't know German. So he knows all the answers to the questions. He just gets frustrated because he doesn't know how to say it in German. And I guess Zhao kind of understands the feeling because both of them start working together. Pak would help Zhao with his math and Zhao would teach Pak German. Yeah, and the two would go onto each other's houses and do homework together. And this instantly moves to the two of them playing basketball together every day. I guess basketball is like a universal language. And that's all they do. That's how they become one of the boys in Switzerland together. This is so cheesy, but I feel like I kind of want it to be cheesy. But Zhao is pretty much the bridge to the rest of the class for Pak. Like everybody thought Pak is mean and weird. And honestly, they're not wrong. But he starts getting more friends. One classmate said, yeah, I mean, he was funny and always good for a laugh.
Kim Jong-un is good for a laugh?
Good for a laugh as in to laugh at.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, they would make fun of him and laugh at him.
No.
And they would say that after class, he would be the first one on the basketball court. Like, you know when kids be getting sweaty and then their hair is sticking to their head and they just be playing basketball and their face is all red. And then they take a moment to break and then they drink water. And when they're drinking water, they're like... And then you're like, oh, bruh. I mean, that was me when I was 12 as well. However, it's not that serious. Please take it easy, okay? That would be Kim Jong-un at the basketball. He would have a Chicago Bulls jersey that had Michael Jordan's number 23 on the back, shorts, and still have Air Jordan shoes that none of the other kids would have. Even though he's only 5'7", everyone could tell that he's actually a pretty good player. Yeah, he is a sore loser, though, they said. They said he was a fiercely competitive player, very explosive. He was a playmaker. He made things happen. I don't know what that means. In one classroom photo, Zhao can be seen in an oversized yellow tee and blue jeans. And one of his classmates is play choking him. And he's making a funny face. And Kim Jong-un is just staring at the camera. But at this point, those two, besties for the resties, okay? And Zhao would even eat lunch with Kim Jong-un every day. Yeah, with Kim every day. Zhao's dad would even make these lunch boxes for Kim Jong-un to eat. And after school, Zhao would be like, hey, Kim. Well, he didn't call him that, but you get it. Hey, Kim, you want to come over to my house? And his dad is a chef. Zhao's dad is a chef. And he would be making all these authentic Portuguese dishes that Kim has never tried in his whole freaking life, okay? But there was one day where Zhao's dad makes a Portuguese dish that's made up of potatoes. And it's basically a dish that's considered a meal where you take a bunch of leftover ingredients and throw it in to make a yummy dish out of it, right? Kim is sitting down at the dinner table with his friend, takes a bite, and he says... This one really sucks. What the fuck? So the two of them, they sneak to the pantry, tiptoe their way over.
Crunchy cookies or smooth cream. How about both?
They leave the food on the table and they just eat snacks all day. When Zhao's dad comes to the dining room later and he finds that all of his food is untouched and there's empty packets of cookies on the ground and the two boys are now playing games trying to not look at him, he starts scolding them. He starts yelling at both of them. He's like, and you come over to my house, I work on this meal, look at all the vegetables I put in this meal and you don't eat it? He's yelling at Kim Jong-un.
Wow.
At one point, Kim Jong-un invites Zhao to come to his house too. Now, for Zhao, going to Kim's house was an experience. Not because he knows anything about him. He thinks he's a diplomat's son. But he f***ing loaded. Okay, he walks into the house and it's pretty much a normal looking house from the outside. It's a 3-story brick building, but only 10 minutes away from the North Korean embassy. It looks like any other regular family home, but once you go inside... It's crazy. From the outside, it looks like an apartment building built for 6 families. So 6 separate units. So he's assuming, okay, they live in one of the units. No, They live in all 6 of the units. What's going on? I mean, this is a huge deal. And his entire closet, Kim's entire closet, is just Nike sneakers, his PlayStation, his DVDs, okay? He's got an entire collection of movies. Now, here's the puzzling thing. He's like, how the fuck did this random son from a diplomat get movies on DVD that aren't even released in theaters yet? Imagine you go to your friend's house and they've got a Marvel Avengers movie that was not released yet. It's releasing in 3 months, and you know it's releasing in 3 months.
He's from the future. Like...
Exactly. Wait. No, his walls are filled with posters of the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, just all over the place. When Zhao would stay for dinner, there was a private chef who would cook for them. And he's like, I'm starting to think you a little different, my friend. You're a little different. Okay? They would eat Korean barbecue every single night. Yeah. They would play. Yeah.
They're living good.
Side note, if you ever wanted to know who Kim Jong-un's childhood crush is, it's Sophie from the James Bond movie. She's beautiful, and she has a picture of her laying on the couch, and I think he really likes that picture. Okay, I don't know. I'm just saying she's gorgeous, but also imagine somewhere out there, the supreme leader has a crush on you. That's crazy. That's crazy. And Zhao just... There would be these moments. For example, Kim after school one day was like, hey, do you want to come hang out with me after school? And he's like, yeah, let's go. They get into the car because Kim has a driver. And he's like, hey, take us to the water park in Zurich. This is an 1.5 hour trip. And on top of that, it's a weekday. What do you mean we got school tomorrow? We can't just go to a water park with no adults. But the driver starts driving to the water park. And Zhao is like, you are the coolest best friend I've ever had in my fucking life. Are you kidding? You're so cool. And then one day, Zhao is 16 and he gets a call from Kim. And Kim is like, can you come to my house? Zhao runs over, ready for anything that they're going to do. Are they going to the water park? Are they watching the new Jackie Chan movie that has not even come out in theaters yet? What are they doing? But Kim is like, no, shh, I just want to talk. He's looking very serious. I mean, as serious as you can look in a full Nike tracksuit. So he's sitting there and he tells Zhao, I am not the son of North Korean diplomats. I'm actually the son of the president of North Korea, Kim Il-sung.
My name is Kim Jong-un.
Okay. Okay.
What do you mean?
That's Zhao's reaction. Okay.
He doesn't care?
He doesn't believe him. Kim Jong-un reaches and grabs a photo.
That's the president of North Korea. That's me. I am his son.
Okay, I don't even know what the fucking president of North Korea looks like. Okay.
So he just thinks he's joking.
Yes, and he just leaves. So that's his whole vibe. After this talk, Zhao goes home telling him, I'm gonna see you at school tomorrow. Goodbye. And the next day, Kim does not come to school. And he waits, watching people come in through the classroom door. Kim does not come. That seat remains empty. At this point, Zhao is questioning, wait a minute, is this a coinkydink that he just told me last night that he's the son of the North Korean leader and now he's not showing up to school? He feels betrayed because that's his best friend forever. His for lifer, you know what I mean? But Kim just really upped and left. Zhao is angry if this is true. He tells reporters, I was actually really pissed off at him because friends just don't disappear from each other's lives like that. After school, Zhao runs to Kim's house. No one's there. His parents aren't there. His older siblings aren't there. Even the private chef and employees, all gone.
They moved out?
They're gone.
Wow.
At 12 years old, okay, so just to backtrack. At 12 years old, Kim Jong-un was sent to Switzerland to live with his aunt and uncle, where they pretended to be his parents, right? Do you remember this?
Yeah, I
yes.
think so.
Okay, so his brother and sister were also sent there, and the entire family would live as the Pak family, and they had...
Alrighty, I am done for today. So yeah, this is it. This is completed artwork. There'll be an alternate version on my Patreon if you want to check that out. But yeah, I'm Giovanni Hall Art. I hope you guys have a good one. And we'll continue with some more artwork on the next stream. Feel free to follow me, like, and subscribe on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, all that good stuff. Links in the bio. Bye!